Hello friends, I'm back with another video. This time it is caching, and caching is a very important stuff to learn. This it is very closer to something like a magic, right? In today's world, we are so accustomed to accessing applications via maybe browser or maybe via our mobile apps, and we see screens flashing and data coming in very fast, images, banners loading very fast, right? Icons loading very fast. Now how does that happen? Because many times it's not possible that you are always connected to a high speed internet and your database is responding very fast, your application is responding very fast. It does not happen all the time, but still somehow you're able to get your data. I'm talking about all the read data, or all data which is coming onto your mobile app or your browser. How is it so fast? So let's see how that happens, and what is the magic behind it. Okay, so what is caching? Basically, we just to do a recap. Few videos back, I should say, we understood how your front and back end works, how your let's say this is your mobile app, how your mobile application actually connects to a data center, where there is a web layer, there is a app layer, then there is a database layer. Okay, and maybe this is the internet. So anytime when you access your data or application, somehow you are actually pulling data back from a database. But that is not the case always, right? Because databases normally are slow. Slow in the sense, not typically slow like responding in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, not that way, but maybe at least 2 seconds, 3 seconds, sometimes 1 second, sometimes in milliseconds also. But then the latency end to end, so if the latency between app to db is, let's say, 100 millisecond, and web to app and the internet, everything adding on, okay, if it goes beyond 1 seconds or 2 seconds, then that can actually hamper the performance, that can actually hamper the I should say customer experience. I should say nowadays when you open your app, you see instantly the app somehow loads your banners, images, your profile data, your icons, right? So how does that happen? There is a concept called as caching. Caching is something where, this 100 millisecond, I mean, this number can either be higher and it can be lower in different environments. But let's say hypothetically, if it is 100 milliseconds, right? Now you can have a cache layer somewhere over here in the data center, okay, which is, let's say, 100 times faster than this database layer. Okay, and if this app, instead of going to the database, if it goes to the caching layer, okay, it can get the same type of data from the cache 100 times faster. So that means if this is 100 millisecond, then this access via the cache will be 1 millisecond. So you can imagine the speed which you get if you're accessing something via cache. Okay, uh, so how does it work, and what is the concept? Why do we have a caching layer in between? Let me give you an analogy for that to understand. um, let's say you have you want to, I mean, everybody has kitchens in their homes, in their houses, and you want to prepare some food, right? So there are a lot of groceries, and there are lots of vegetables required to cook the food, right? Now let's say this is your kitchen, okay, and this is you trying to prepare something. Now kitchen may have, let's say, sugar, may have salt, may have vegetables, right? Now if it's all available over here, you can directly, start your cooking. correct? Now the problem is that when once these exhaust, then you have to go to a place which is your supermarket, correct? Now when you go to a supermarket, it takes time, correct, right? So ideally, if these ingredients or these whatever vegetables, salts, groceries, if these are exhausted, then you have to go to the supermarket, you have to collect it from here, and then again come back to the kitchen and then do your cooking. But what do you do? Is it like you only whenever you want to cook something, let's say, you only bring the material which is enough for one day cooking, or you stack it up? So for example, if you buy 1 kg sugar from here, I believe it may be enough for you for a month, right? Correct. So what ideally you are doing, you can imagine that this is your database, okay, and instead of accessing everything every time from your database, you are bringing it and you are actually putting this into your kitchen. You are caching it so that if you want to prepare something in your kitchen, okay, then these ingredients are already available to you in the kitchen directly at a high speed where you can actually cook them. So that is the concept of caching. Okay, this is the analogy I wanted to give you. And how you do it is that if you want to cook right now, you can bring something, you can start cooking, but at the same time you will put in your kitchen whatever shelf or kitchen repositories, you will put these ingredients at that place, put these vegetables, groceries at that place, so that you don't need to go again and again to the supermarket. Okay, so the same concept is with your caching. So instead of your application actually going to maybe again web app and a DB layer, this app will not, instead of connecting to the DB layer, it will connect to a cache layer. Okay, so how the flow happens is that the app will always first try to look into the cache, whether it is available in the cache or not, and if it is not available, then it will go to the database, okay, and then fetch the data from here. Once it fetches the data from here, while serving the request, it will again put it into the cache, so that the next request when it comes, it will again try to see in the cache, and it will find it from the cache and serve it directly from there. That is the flow of the cache. That is how caching works. Okay, the advantage of this is that the speed of database, as I told you, if it is giving you 100, or let's say this time I take 1000 milliseconds, then cache can serve the same thing in 10 milliseconds, because caching here is done in memory, or I should say RAM, and here you may have some kind of a disk, right? And RAM is much more faster, memory is much more faster than your disk based storage. So that is the concept of cache. Okay, I hope I was able to articulate properly by giving you the analogy. You need to understand that all applications where you look at the banners, images, where you get data like your maybe your customer ID, your mobile number, your profile, your demographics, all these things, your email ID, all these things are actually available from the cache, because these fields or this kind of data does not change frequently. Okay, so now I'll just explain you the layers of cache, how this works. Okay, so if I draw it end to end, okay, the diagram which I showed you in the beginning, I'll just draw the flow once again for you. So this is, let's say, your browser or mobile app, right? It connects to an internet layer First of all, it can be a CDN, content delivery network, like Akamai or Cloudflare, right? And the third layer will be your cache. This will be your data center. The fourth layer will be your database, or I should write app over here actually. Okay, database, or maybe you're getting data from somewhere else, some other site or some data center. It happens many times in banking, especially your presentation layer, the entire front end, or your platforms like mobile banking or internet banking, they are actually located in a different data center, right? Just so this part, this is a different data center altogether. Okay, and this is a different data center altogether, where you may have your core banking. Okay, so it is possible that the final source of truth, or finally where the data is stored, can be a database, or can be another external system, a core banking, or maybe a partner system which is again outside your data center. Okay, so to access the actual data, there are two ways. Either it can be a partner or external core banking, or your local database. In both the cases, you can cache the data over here. So for example, if I talk about the flow again, from the browser you have hit maybe a URL, or you're trying to fetch some data. You just logged in, and after the login it should show you your maybe mobile number, your email ID, and let's say your address. Okay, so the flow will be take this color. Okay, flow will be, first thing the browser will do, it actually looks into its own cache. Browser also has a cache, by the way. Okay, it checks whether it already has this kind of data. Okay, if your application is coded in such a way that this caching is allowed, then it can be present in the browser also. But many financial applications or financial uh, you know apps don't allow you to cache that information. Then it will go to the CDN. CDN is an edge network in between on the internet. You can imagine there is a plethora of servers. There are too many servers on the internet which are actually hosting your content, your cached content. Most of the time it will be your banners and images. Okay, so these banners and images will be looked upon from here. Okay, and if it is available over here, directly it will be fetched from here and shown it in the browser or your mobile app. It will not go beyond this part will not happen at all. That means something which was supposed to happen in 2 seconds or 2000 milliseconds, it happened in 20 milliseconds. Okay, now next part from the CDN, if let's say if it's not available over here, it will go to the data center. In many cases this part is called as the origin, from where the data originates. On the data center, your application will, again, as I told you, it will look into the local cache. If it is available in the cache, it will directly serve from the cache from here. Then on the way back, it will be stored on the CDN and then served to the customer. If it is not available in the cache, what will happen is that it will go to the respective backend source. If it is a database, it will go to a database. If it is maybe an external core banking system, it will go to there, or if it's external partner, it will go to there. So this is how the flow works. But the question which comes to the mind is that why will it not be available in the cache, the data? The reason behind it is that there is something called as cache invalidation. That means now if we talk about mobile number, email, we know that these things don't change frequently, so it's safe to keep them in cache, but many organizations don't take that risk. They may keep it in cache, but maybe for 24 hours or 48 hours as per the organization's policy. So whenever the app while serving back is putting something in cache, it will set up a purge timer. Sorry, it will set up a purge timer. So it will say that this entry will get purged in 24 hours. Okay, sorry. Okay, so that is how the cache invalidation happens. So for 24 hours, whatever, for 24 hours, whatever connections are coming this way, they all will be served from this cache. Okay, but after 24 hours it will not be found in the cache. It will again go to the backend system, fetch it, and then again put it in the cache for 24 hours. Okay, that is how the cache flow works. And you have to remember that the caching happens at every level: your browser level, your CDN level, which is a content delivery network. Probably in the future I'll create a video describing how CDN works. And in the data center, at your app, there is a cache closer to it, which is in memory cache. Then you have a database and you have partner systems. So this is how caching works. How the system, or how on the browser you can identify, or the app level you can identify if something is served from the cache. Served from cache, that is called as a cache hit. If not available in cache, if something is not available in cache, then it is called as a cache miss. Okay, this is important for you to understand and look at the logs, whether the data is coming from cache or not. That's the reason you need to know that it can be either a cache hit or a cache miss. If it's a cache hit, then it's serving from the cache. If it's a cache miss, then it is going to the backend system or the database to serve the data. I hope this was an informative video for you. If you like the video, share it, subscribe it, and put a like on the video. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks.